Hey, good morning. This is Joe from Citrus County Porch Life coming to you September 29th, 2024 with the AA word of the day. And the word for today is exactly alike. And this is the quote from the Big Books of Alcoholics Anonymous, page 89. Frequent contact with newcomers and with each other is a bright spot of our lives. And this is from the Reflections. A man came to a meeting drunk, interrupted the speakers, stood up, took his shirt off, staggered loudly back and forth for coffee, demanded to talk, and eventually called the group secretary an unquotable name and walked out. I was glad he was there. Once again, I saw what I had been like, but I also saw what I still am and what I still could be. I don't have to be drunk to want to be the exception and the center of attention. I had often felt abused and responded abusively when I was simply being treated as a garden variety human being. The more the man tried to insist he was different, the more I realized he and I were exactly alike. Well, you may notice I have the light on behind me. It's not exactly, I think it's a couple of more minutes before it's officially daytime, and it looks like more rain. The retention pond is full. I had planned to make a video yesterday getting rid of those stumps from the the actual old palm tree was more difficult than I thought. Uh, being from north, I never had a palm tree until I moved down here, and they're very grassy material, and you can't just snap it off. Everything's connected inside. So a neighbor of mine came by with a chainsaw and one of those things that grinds stumps, and he helped me work on the palm trees that I have here, and that was very good. Then I helped him with something, and before I knew it, uh, time had gotten away from me. So that's why I didn't have a video yesterday. A very good friend of mine from Rhode Island lives in South Carolina, and they have it much worse than we got it. I mean, we got the hurricane, but they're out of power. They told them it could be 4 to 7 days. We were out of power about 15 hours. And most of it was at night, so eventually I just fell asleep and woke up, and then by 11 o'clock in the morning, power was restored. Oh, and that cup of coffee felt good, that first cup. So let's get to the reading. So this happens frequently at meetings. It really does. Someone comes in, they didn't really have the nerve to come sober, so they get all liquored up and come to a meeting. And once you've been off alcohol for a while, you get very attuned to the smell of it. And it was very, I've seen meetings where I'm sitting next to someone and I could tell. I haven't quite seen someone blow up like this person has, but I've seen them, become disruptive, start cross-talking, and it is the secretary's job to keep that stuff under control and try to explain to a person. But most of the meetings that I've been at, you're able to take the person, good morning, to a different room, sit down and talk to them, ask them, why they're here. And most meetings that I went to had a beginner's meeting, so they just quietly, discreetly asked the guy to come with them. They'd get him a coffee, and they'd go sit in there. When he came out, he was a little more attuned to what was going on in the meeting. Some people had never been to one. On my first meeting, I had absolutely no idea what was going on, and it was a speaker meeting, and they kept saying our next commitment in I'm thinking, oh, well, maybe these people vote on who they're going to commit to a state institution or something. But it was actually, members of that group going to another group and speaking. And so I was really mixed up at my meeting. And we try to, we want them to come back. They obviously need AA. So we kind of treat them with kid gloves. And this sort of skips around the idea of a person being unique. And, well, that's what I thought too. No one had no one had 7 brothers all sleeping in the same room, lived in the shittiest part of town. It just, you think you're unique, and then you go and you have people with 13, 14 brothers and sisters in the same situation, so you realize that you're not unique. And when you can make that connection, when you can relate to what a speaker is saying, then you start to get into AA. And luckily, when I went to the beginners meeting, I didn't understand they'd have like 45 minutes of a regular meeting. In those days, a smoke break. And go outside and smoke or on the property of the church. I don't know any place that's allowed now. And then come back for another 45 minutes. But the 45 minutes for me was at the beginners meeting. And right away I heard what I needed. I said, well, this isn't too bad. And maybe I'll come back next week. And I did and been coming back for 33 years. So, I'm really concerned about some of these people in the other states who had just had significant rain, and then even more than we had here, got flooded again. So rivers, I saw a whole house go by on a river. I don't know if it was in Georgia or Kentucky, and it's just, terrible. And about 11 miles up the street from me in a place called Crystal River, kind of a little resort town, lots of boutique shops, but a very low elevation. They get flooded every time. Even if we don't have a hurricane, if it rains a lot, they get flooded. And they're underwater. And one of the shops, when my sister came down, I took her to this shop. It was for like ladies' t-shirts and stuff. Well, I saw a picture. It had a steel frame door, and the water was right up to the top of the steel frame. So it must have ruined all their inventory. Just make the place, once it's about 91. Not now, but it'll be 91 today, and it's just terrible to, once the mold starts growing, you can smell it. I went to get some spray to keep my cat from scratching certain things in the house, and I went in the pet store, and they have never recovered from a hurricane from 2 years ago, and then there was one last year, then there was one like 2 months ago, and today, and the place just stunk from the mold. You expect a certain smell at a pet center, but this was bad. So I got it, and it was the quickest transaction I had. So I wish you all a safe and sober Sunday. If you can make it, get to church. I'm hoping to make it unless it starts pouring. Someone smashed into my car, smashed in the whole driver's side of my car, so the door doesn't fit well, and I haven't found out who it is. My car is a 2007 Toyota Yaris that I bought in 2006, so it's 18 years old. I won't get anything for the car. They'll total it. So I'm just going to drive it into the ground and see how I make out. That'll keep me from paying taxes till I have to. And if I get a car, I'll get a brand new one, and that will be the last one for my life. If I have it 16 years, I'll be 90, and that'll be enough for me. So God bless. Good to be back.